A man can sleep with the woman he can, but he becomes mentally bound to the one who awakens something far deeper inside him, a feeling so powerful it rewires his very perception of attraction.
And no, it's not what you think.
Forget everything you've been told by magazines, dating gurus, and Hollywood movies. This isn't about seduction tricks, perfect curves, or playing hard to get. It's not even about being the most fun, confident, or beautiful woman in the room. That's surface-level attraction, the kind that fades as quickly as it sparks. What we're exploring here is much more profound, an invisible force that lives inside every man's mind, a psychological and emotional trigger, a mental drug that creates obsession. It's not about what he sees, but about what he feels when he's with you. Deep within a man's brain, in the limbic system, the ancient center of emotion and reward, lies a hidden switch. This switch determines whether an encounter stays as a fleeting spark or transforms into something unforgettable. It decides if you'll be a passing attraction or the woman who lingers in his thoughts long after you're gone. Have you ever wondered why a man who seemed devoted suddenly grows distant? Why he lost interest even though you gave him everything, your love, attention, warmth, and care? Or why some women, without even trying, seem to cast a spell on men, creating an almost irrational attachment that logic can't explain? The answer isn't in what you do, it's in what you awaken in him. The question isn't, how can I make him desire me? Because physical desire is easy.
It's instinctual.
The real question is, how can I make him unable to stop thinking about me? What is this silent psychological drug that separates men simply like from those they can't forget? What I'm about to reveal isn't a game, nor a manipulation. It's a truth confirmed by both psychology and neuroscience. And once you understand it, everything about attraction will make sense. Because no matter how strong his body seems, the body always follows the mind. Modern culture has convinced women that attraction is a checklist: beauty, fitness, charm, confidence, and sexuality. We've been told to perfect ourselves, to compete in a game of appearances. But in doing so, we've been chasing the wrong door. You can perfect your looks, charm, and timing, yet still lose a man's interest because attraction isn't born in his eyes. It's born in his mind. Inside every man's psyche, there's a gatekeeper, a psychological filter that decides whether you're just another pleasant memory or an unforgettable imprint. This gatekeeper judges every moment, every conversation, every emotional vibration. If your presence doesn't trigger something unique, it files you away as temporary. But when that one element is present, when you awaken something deeper, you pass through that gatekeeper.
And suddenly you're not just another woman.
You become the woman. This isn't about manipulation or being someone you're not. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about unlocking what's already inside you and learning to direct it where it matters most. So, what is this mental drug? What makes a man addicted not to your body, but to your essence? The answer is one word: admiration.
And it's not the kind you might expect. Admiration doesn't sound romantic. It feels intellectual, even cold.
But in that misunderstanding lies its power. To truly understand it, we need to step into his mind, into the primal blueprint of male psychology. A man's deepest programming, built over millennia, revolves around purpose, protection, and progress. His sense of self is wired to what he can do and become. Beneath his confidence and bravado lives an unspoken hunger, the need to feel capable, respected, and recognized. Physical desire is just a spark, a flash of dopamine that burns out fast. But admiration, that's the flame that burns without end. When a man feels admired by a woman, not for his muscles or charm, but for who he is, something profound shifts inside him. His brain floods with reward chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, creating a powerful emotional bond. The moment he looks at you and thinks, "She sees something in me that the world doesn't," you've just entered a part of his mind no one else can reach. His desire evolves from "I want her" to "I need to be worthy of her." That shift is where obsession begins. Suddenly, you are no longer the object of pursuit. You become the mirror that reflects the best version of him. And men are drawn, irresistibly, to the people who make them feel more alive, more capable, more seen. This isn't about being perfect. You don't have to be a CEO, a scholar, or a model.
Admiration doesn't come from perfection. It comes from authenticity.
It's in the way you speak with passion about what you love, the way your eyes light up when you talk about something that moves you, or the way you stand firm in your values even when no one agrees. It's in your curiosity, your kindness, your confidence in your own skin. In those moments you project an energy that says, "I have my own light." And a man's unconscious mind, built to seek challenge, meaning, and mystery, becomes magnetized to that light. He can't look away. Physical attraction is about wanting to possess. But admiration transforms that desire into wanting to connect. He doesn't just want to touch your body. He wants to touch your mind, your soul. He wants to learn from you, to understand you, to be part of your world. You shift from being a source of pleasure to being a source of inspiration.
That's the kind of woman he doesn't forget when the night ends. That's the woman he dreams about, fights for, and stays loyal to. So remember, the real secret of attraction isn't about outer perfection or playing games.
It's about awakening that hidden switch in his mind, the one that responds not to beauty, but to meaning. When you embody passion, integrity, and self-respect, you radiate something that can't be faked. Something that makes a man feel that he's found not just a lover, but a muse. The woman who makes him want to rise higher. The woman he can't stop thinking about. Because admiration isn't just his addiction, it's your power. And once you learn how to use it, you'll never chase love again. You'll attract it. Effortlessly, endlessly, and deeply. Attraction stops being a game the moment admiration enters the picture. It becomes a mission, a force that pulls two people into something real and powerful. But here's the dilemma, the trap almost every woman falls into. If admiration is truly the fuel that makes men fall deeply in love, why does society and even our own fears teach us to do the complete opposite? Why are women told to shrink, to soften their brilliance, to dim their light so they don't scare men away?
That's where attraction quietly dies.
Because right next to the truth, that admiration is the strongest driver of male desire, lives a destructive myth. One whispered since childhood, reinforced by movies, media, and social expectations. It says, don't be too smart, don't be too ambitious, don't be too independent or you'll end up alone. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? It's one of the most paralyzing lies ever told to women. A lie that convinces them that to be desirable, they must stop being admirable. But here's the twist. This myth isn't entirely false. It's just dangerously misinterpreted. The truth is, a man of real value isn't intimidated by a strong woman. He only withdraws when her energy becomes combative instead of connective. He doesn't fear your intelligence. He just wants it to inspire, not humiliate. He doesn't hate your success.
He just doesn't want it weaponized against him.
You see, male energy is naturally wired for competition, problem-solving, and progress. When a man meets a woman romantically, he seeks polarity, an energy that complements, not competes. But when a woman, in her effort to prove her worth, slips into combat mode, constantly correcting, debating, proving, or one-upping, he stops seeing her as a partner and starts seeing her as a rival. And that's when the magnetic spark between masculine and feminine energy disappears instantly. Take Sophia, for example. She's brilliant, driven, and independent. A successful executive with a resume that turns heads. But Sophia constantly complains men just can't handle successful women. On dates, she dominates the conversation, listing her achievements, her travels, her promotions. When her date mentions his work, she immediately counters with a bigger accomplishment. If he shares an opinion, she dismantles it with logic until he's speechless. Sophia believes she's showcasing her worth, but men leave these dates feeling drained, not dazzled. To them, it feels like a job interview or worse, a courtroom. They don't think, wow, what an incredible woman. They think, that was exhausting. The truth? Men aren't intimidated by Sophia's success. They're repelled by the way she makes them feel unnecessary, unseen, and unappreciated. But then something revealing happens. Sophia meets a man who seems comfortable with her dominance, passive, accommodating, unambitious.
At first it feels easy.
But soon she loses all respect and attraction for him. Why? Because when he dimmed his masculine energy just to stay beside her, he stopped being a man she could admire. He became living proof of her own trap. Now let's look at Laura. She's just as successful, just as intelligent, but her energy is entirely different. When Laura talks about her achievements, there's no arrogance, only passion. She listens with curiosity. She celebrates his wins as much as her own. She doesn't see him as competition, but as a fascinating universe to explore. Her confidence doesn't dim anyone else's light. It invites others to shine alongside her.
And that's magnetic. Men don't run from Laura, they're drawn to her.
They want to be part of her world because she doesn't make them smaller. She inspires them to grow bigger. This is the secret that shatters the myth. You never have to make yourself small to be loved. But here's where things get complicated. What if, like Laura, you do everything right, strong yet gentle, independent yet open, and he still feels insecure? What then? Should you shrink yourself to soothe his ego? Should you dim your light just to make him comfortable? The answer is a clear, unapologetic no. This isn't just a moral statement, it's a psychological truth. The moment you start dimming your light for a man, you've stepped into a crucial filter, a defining test that separates valuable men from emotionally stunted boys in grown-up bodies. Because when a low-value man meets a radiant woman, he feels like a vampire at sunrise. Her light doesn't inspire him, it exposes him. It burns his fears, his insecurities, his lack of purpose. And faced with that pain, he has two options. He can grow, or he can pull her into the dark with him. He'll start with subtle comments, jokes that sting, doubts disguised as concern, calling her intimidating or too much. But that's not love, that's resistance.
And when a man does that, he's showing you who he really is.
Believe him, thank him for revealing himself, and walk away. Because a high-value man, a man who's done his inner work, reacts differently.
He's not threatened by your power.
He's fascinated by it. Your strength inspires him. Your confidence excites him. Your ambition draws him closer. To him, you're not competition. You're a muse. He doesn't think, she's too much. He thinks, I want to be worthy of her. That's the deepest secret of male desire. It's not just about physical attraction. Any man can be captivated by a beautiful woman. But the real addiction, the one that lasts, comes when he sees a woman fully alive in her element, radiant, passionate, unapologetically herself. In that moment, he doesn't just want to have her.
He wants to rise to meet her.
She awakens in him a desire to evolve, to grow, to become the best version of himself. That's the real mental drug, the psychological addiction no man escapes.
He's not addicted to you.
He's addicted to the man he becomes in your light. So how do you apply this in everyday life? Not by learning tactics, tricks, or fake strategies, but through a shift in direction.
Stop asking, what do men like?
And start asking, what sets my soul on fire? Forget men for a moment. Forget dates.
Focus on you.
Ask yourself, what topic makes you talk faster, with excitement in your voice? What activity makes you lose track of time? What injustice makes you want to speak out? What hobby do you secretly love but hide because you think no one cares?
That's where your magic lies. That's your gold.
The mental drug we talked about isn't something you learn, it's something you reclaim. Next, remember this. Attraction isn't about informing, it's about transmitting. Don't go on a date listing facts about yourself like a resume. I love art, yoga, and philosophy. That's boring. Let your energy speak. Talk about how a painting moved you, how a book changed your mind, how a song made you cry. Invite him into your world. Say, there's this antique market on Saturday. I love the smell of old books. Want to come? You're not trying to impress him.
You're inviting him into your passion.
And that's magnetic. Finally stop suppressing your truth to keep the peace. Stop pretending to love things you don't, or playing helpless to make him feel needed. Stop cheering for his dreams while abandoning your own. The world doesn't need another woman who hides her brilliance.
It needs women who shine so brightly that the right men can find them and the wrong ones can't survive their light.
Because you, my dear, are the lighthouse. You don't chase ships, you guide them. The wrong ones crash and fade. The right ones find their way home. So what should you start doing? Start fiercely protecting your time, your energy, and your fire. Defend your space for your passions and projects as if your soul depends on it, because it does. Stop constantly sacrificing your hobbies, your social life, and your spark just to fit into someone else's world. Don't be afraid of disagreement. Say calmly, I see it differently. Show your path with all its beautiful imperfections. Say, I'm learning something new right now. I failed today, but tomorrow I'll try again. Be the main character of your own story. He can be a wonderful co-star, but never the director. Yes, this path is scary because it guarantees one thing: some men will leave. Maybe even the ones you once felt deeply drawn to. They'll feel intimidated or simply disconnected, but that's not a loss, it's liberation. Every man who leaves because your light is too bright saves you from months, even years, of dimming yourself for the wrong one. He clears space for someone who will see your fire and add wood to it, not water. The ingredients for this admiration drug aren't found in a makeup bag or a lingerie shop. They live in your bookshelf, your ideas, your laughter, your late-night talks with a friend who challenges you, and your next solo trip that teaches you who you really are. Tend your garden not to attract butterflies, but to make it so spectacular that only the best ones stay. We've come far together. We've shattered the myth that being intimidating is a flaw. We've uncovered admiration as the true heartbeat of attraction. But if you think this is just a strategy to attract men, you've missed the point entirely. It was never about him, it was always about you. We've spent so long seeking validation, twisting ourselves to fit someone else's ideal, asking, am I pretty enough?
Interesting enough?
Good enough? But the real revolution begins when you stop asking if you're enough for him and start asking, is this life enough for me? Imagine your life as a campfire. Most people go through life guarding a weak, flickering flame, hoping someone will bring them wood to keep it alive. But the new path, the awakened path, is about gathering your own wood, your passions, your knowledge, your friendships, and building a fire so strong, so radiant, that it glows across miles. Because people aren't drawn to flickers, they're drawn to the steady warmth of a blazing flame. Being admirable isn't a show. It's what happens naturally when you deeply respect yourself. When you value your time, your opinions, your body, and your boundaries, you send a silent message to the world. This is how I deserve to be treated. And from that moment, everything changes. Two paths appear. The first is the old one, the easy, familiar path of adapting. It's the path of smoothing your edges, laughing at unfunny jokes, nodding when you want to scream no. It's the path of hoping someone will choose you. But then there's the second path, the steeper, lonelier, sacred one, the path of self-respect. The decision to read that book instead of scrolling endlessly, to voice your truth even if it shakes, to pursue your dream even if no one claps. It's the path of building yourself stone by stone into the kind of woman who doesn't chase approval but chooses consciously who deserves her presence. So ask yourself this: when someone from your past thinks of you years later, what should he remember? A nice face? A polite smile? Or the woman with eyes that burned with passion, whose laughter filled the room, whose energy felt like standing near a fire that could melt his fears?
That's the woman who leaves a mark.
That's the woman who can't be forgotten. So tomorrow, when you look in the mirror, don't ask, how can I look more attractive? Ask instead, how can I be a little more myself today? Don't try to be the most beautiful woman in the room.
Aim to be the most interesting.
Because beauty captures the eye, but admiration captures the mind, and it never lets go. If this message awakened something in you into a deeper understanding of attraction, confidence, and self-worth, don't stop here. Subscribe to Hidden Words, for more powerful psychological insights inspired by Carl Jung, attraction dynamics, and emotional intelligence. Watch, learn, and transform the way you see love, men, and yourself forever.